Hey, slash AJ Buckaroos, how the heck are you? Anyway, want to be Todd the Beer and Whiskey Whisperer for the purposes of this video. Got a couple things to share with you. One is a new product, well, relatively so, I guess, from Springfield Brewing Company. It's their Mug Club beer this year. Last year was an Imperial Pilsner. This year's an Italian Pilsner. Some members only, brewed for our most loyal beer lovers. So what they do is they give each of the beer club members a six pack of this, and then later on it does become for sale for others. But it's a 5% Italian Pilsner, medium bodied brew with a wonderful malt backbone, clean hop aroma, crisp and refreshing finish. I think Peroni, but better. It's very clean and crisp. Let me adjust something here real fast. I have to adjust my videos now where only friends can watch them because apparently I've made a few enemies that want to make my life difficult, but nevertheless, but I persevere, man. I really like this one. I loved last year. The Imperial Pilsner was amazing because you don't see a lot of that style anymore. Oh, about a decade to a decade and a half ago, a lot of breweries were making one. Even a little bit before that, Sam Adams had arguably the best one ever, their Imperial Hallertau Pilsner, but then they quit making it. Boulevard had a great one with their reverb, but it seemed like everybody quit making them at that point. So when it became the Mug Club pick last year, I mean, I was excited about them doing it, and I was hoping they would reprise it, not necessarily for the Mug Club pick, but because it was just done so well and so popular, I was hoping it would become, well, if not a regular, but a regular seasonal. But it didn't happen. But nevertheless, so this year they went with something lighter, an Italian style Pilsner. Again, think Peroni, but only better. I mean, you might think Moretti, but for me, this more closely resembles a Peroni than a Moretti. Feels like they're using noble hops in there. I decided to pour myself a little bit of whiskey to go with that, and the one I went with, well, was is a new one for me. So, a friend of mine, Marty, his brother-in-law, I guess, owns Wood Hat Spirits out of New Florence. And so he gave me a bottle of this Montgomery County bourbon whiskey. It is at 100 proof, and I had some last night when I got home from work because I was off. I'm off today and tomorrow. I had some last night when I got off work. I said, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" But I was tired, so I didn't do a live video with it. But I thought I would today since I am off tomorrow as well. So I poured myself a nice pour, as you can see there. But look at that color, and I don't know if the light. Or if it translate well through the camera there. But for me, it has that nice kind of a little bit of a ruby hue there. Yeah, I'm still getting it. And I was getting something last night that was throwing me off. It was I was getting a little bit of a port wine like nose. And I'm getting it again today. I thought maybe I was just, just off my game last night. Yeah, I'm feeling that port wine like nose. So this is a young bourbon from field to glass. For years now, Montgomery Countyans have been sending our grain and white oak staves to other states and foreign countries to make spirits. Now, for the first time in our history, we have ground, distilled, aged spirits in white oak barrels right here in Montgomery County. This whiskey was made possible by doing everything locally from field to glass with a small batch, pot distilled, whole grain wood fired process, aged a minimum of 1 year in small batch barrels, or in small barrels rather. Handcrafting a quality whiskey is like turning a bat out of wood. It's what you carve away that gives it shape. So let me show you the bottle here. Yeah, like I said, I had a nice pour last night after work, and it was just delicious. So I thought I'd have a little bit more with you today, paired with that light pilsner there. Make sure everything's working over here though before I. Carrie, hi, how you doing? As always, you know the drill. If you've got any questions or comments, please feel free to put it up there. So New Florence, where is that? As a as far as where I'm at in Springfield, Missouri, it is a little bit north of Washington, Missouri, as you're heading towards St. Louis from my neck of the woods. So I would guess it's probably about a 2.5 hour drive. There's another great distillery in that area, though, called Pinckney Bend. I didn't realize that Wood Hat was so close when I was in Pinckney Bend a couple years ago, right? I hit them, but now I've got to go back in that neck of the woods and find them. Uh, as we were coming back from our vacation last year, we were in that neighborhood. Unfortunately, it was a Sunday and they're closed on Sunday, so I was kind of bummed. I was hoping to hit them, but shit happens. So maybe next year or maybe later this year, I'll be able to get a chance to get to Wood Hat. I was informed though that they're trying to sell the distillery, but they do such great products out there, man. They really do. I love small craft distilleries. I think a lot of them get overlooked, and for whatever reason, it does seem like some of the big guys are threatened by them. And I know secondary markets have a real issue with small distilleries because they try to push other product on you rather than telling you the truth, which is you could take that same amount of money that you're saving up for certain products that are allocated, and they're only allocated so they can make more money from them. Yeah, and to spend your money on these small distillery products. I've made a few enemies in the whiskey world by telling the truth. Because the truth is, a lot of these guys in the secondary market, a lot of these guys in the secondary market, this is how they make their money. They get deals from certain distilleries. They buy a lot of product and then want to sell it to you for two, three, four times what they paid for it. Well, that's how they're making their money. And they're trying to convince you that you need these products when you don't need any of them. There are some great small distillery products. That you can get for that amount of money, or in many cases less. And that's what the secondary market doesn't want you to know. They don't want you to know that you can do better than what they're offering. And they're trying to tell you you need something only because they are trying to sell it. They are unscrupulous and hoping you're an idiot. I'm telling you, forget those guys. There's a lot of great distilleries right here in Missouri, man. And wherever you live, I know there's great distilleries in your neck of the woods as well. I mean, I mentioned Pinckney Bend earlier, Wood Hats. Um, into St. Louis, you've got Switchgrass, Still 630. Into Kansas City, you've got Tomstown, J. Riggers, Restless Spirits, Lifted Spirits, Union Horse. I mean, there are great distilleries everywhere, and I guarantee whatever state you're in, you've got some fine ones there. When we were in Columbus, Ohio last year, I found Endeavor, I found Echo, Watershed. I mean, they're just great products everywhere. Hard Truth in Indiana. I mean, buy these guys. The products, I'm telling you, the products, if not better, are every bit as good. But the secondary market will lie to you because they are trying to sell you something. I'm telling you the truth because I'm not trying to sell you a damn thing. I just want you to get the most for your money. I want you to keep these small distillers alive. I've always found it interesting that there is a bit of a crossover between the craft beer world and the whiskey world. But I've always found it interesting that the same folks that will always tell you buy small, buy craft, won't do the same when it comes to whiskey. And I've never been able to make that make sense. And a lot of it is just, I don't want to use the word brainwashed, but I mean, a lot of it is just conditioning. You're conditioned to look for certain brands. You're conditioned to believe that certain whiskeys are better than others. But there, again, there are small distilleries all over the country that are doing some great products. So forget about what somebody on the secondary market is telling you have to have, and look for those distilleries and buy their products. Uh, I am really surprised. I mean, I've had products from Woodhat before that have been good, but this one is just knocking my socks off. It's more nuanced than I expected it to be, especially for a very young whiskey. But look at that color. That color is just inviting to me. I really love that color. That reddish brown going on. And then the flavors, I'm getting more sweetness than you might expect. Again, I'm getting more nuance than I expected from a whiskey like this. I'm picking up some fruit notes or again those port wine notes that I didn't expect to get. I gotta go sneeze, come on. Maybe. Stuck right there. Again, anybody watching, any questions or comments, check it up there. I'll answer almost anything. I know, damn dear. Anyway, I digress. I did get out earlier today and I had a few beers with some friends, but I got something to eat, came home and did drink for about 3 hours when I decided I'd do this video. Like I said, I had some of this whiskey last night, but I was really tired at the time. So I thought, well, let's try it again while I'm not as fatigued because I was getting these port wine notes. I thought maybe it's just me, but I'm getting them again today. It's really a delightful whiskey, man. So a little bit of sweetness up front. I'm going to say so. Typically, I would say brown sugar or dark brown sugar, but because of the molasses notes. But I'm going to bypass the sugar altogether. Just say molasses because it feels like you get a lot of molasses going on here. Well, excuse me. Yeah, a lot of molasses going on up front. When I get to that middle, this is where I can pick up some of those fruit notes, those port wine like notes. I feel like I'm picking up some plum, some apricot, and then a big oaky finish with a lot of mixed spice notes. I'm going to say kind of a mix of baking spice, and a lot of it's just going to depend on how you feel spice notes. As I've said ad nauseum at this point, you're only going to taste what you know. So you it certainly isn't going to be unusual for you to pick up if you're familiar with these notes. Cinnamon, um, allspice. You might get clove, ginger, a nutmeg. It's all just going to depend on your familiarity with those spices, right? But that's what I'm picking up here. Ah, boy, that was good though. That's nice. And again, you feel that nice white oak in the finish. Just cleaning it all up so you don't have any lingering sweetness going on. It is done just so impeccably well. I'm going to sit it down for a minute of focus on the beer. Again, it's an Italian Pilsner. It's not meant to rock your world. It's meant to be clean, crisp, and refreshing, and it does all of those things. Again, think Peroni, but better. Right? Think Peroni, but just a little more clean. Yeah. Again, I'm the usually the two that most beer geeks will know is Peroni and Moretti. But for me, it feels closer to a Peroni than a Moretti. They say medium body. I don't know. I mean, uh, I don't know that. I mean, a 5% pilsner. I don't know. Is a 5% pilsner really ever medium body? So to me, it's a light bodied beer in comparison to others. But I guess it's however you want to however you want to take it. I guess for me, it's a light bodied beer. But I think every 5% pilsner, no matter the style, is a light bodied beer. I don't think anything starts to become heavy bodied until you get a little bit more malt in it at about 6%. But anyways, anyways, there we're talking semantics, though, right? So anyway, yeah, I've never heard of a 5% pilsner described as medium body, but nevertheless, again, we're talking semantics. Bottom line, yeah, I like it a lot. It is what it is supposed to be. It's just an easy drinking uh, beer that will go with just about every damn thing. You can have it with nothing, but it'll work with just about any food you want because it's rather nondescript. Got a burp stuck right there, trying to get that sucker out. Oh, there we go. Oh, excuse me. Hope I didn't get any on you. Anyways, I digress. I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and oh man, this stuff is really nice, man. I can't believe he gave me a bottle of this. I mean, a whole and open bottle. So, oh man. Oh, Marty. Oh. No, but Marty did say that his brother-in-law owns the company with some stuff he had. So, but I do appreciate him giving me a bottle. Well, we were talking about the reason he did is we were talking about whiskey the other night and stuff we liked. I mentioned some other products for Wood Hat that I had before that I really enjoyed. So, but I've never had this one. So, anyway, thanks again, Marty. I appreciate it. I am Tom, the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, pervert of wisdom, and I am also Tom the who are you, man? Also Tom the Beer Whisperer. This is my Mug Club members only beer. Let me show you that side of the can, and I will show you this side of the can, the Italian Pilsner. One more time with feeling. One more time with feeling, man. I am Tom the Beer Whisperer, Beer Evangelist, prolific beer drinker, beer whistle man, all around good guys. Launch it. Ah.